Yeah, here we go.
Oh my god.
Hello and welcome, people of DarkOrbit. And yeah, welcome to this week's Q&A session. I'm Flips, I'm community manager on DarkOrbit, and joining me tonight, you all know him. He's the best, he's the most awesome dude ever. It's, oh shit, that's a setup. I don't know. Okay, both of these guys are the coolest dudes ever. On the left we have Jörg, our other community manager, and on the right we have Sergey, our lead game designer. And they're all back to talk about old school servers and ship customization post-launch issues. Doesn't that sound exciting, people?
Oh, for us it did.
Yeah, I hope it is as exciting for everybody as it is exciting for us. Let's take it away.
Yeah. I just think that the excitement on the player side is a different excitement than on our side.
Probably, yeah.
I think the first thing we should do to start is to explain why this Christmas hat, that has been hanging around here for a while now. We use that for the microphone concealment, so it's not that obvious that there is a mic here.
Yeah, God forbid people would suspect that we have equipment here.
With that said, all right.
Also for dust issues, by the way.
Dust
so that
issues.
it doesn't
Okay.
get dusty.
Sergey, we haven't really talked about the order of how we proceed today. What would you like
I
to...
would suggest try start with presentation with most pressing stuff.
Yeah.
And then we talk about an interesting topic that we heard of on Discord, and we already heard of it many times, and we decided to raise it, the old school server topic on this Twitch, so we could address it and we maybe talk about it and, well, I don't know, come to some conclusion.
What do you mean? We heard of it on Discord. Maybe we want to explain that we have a new tool.
Sure, like, ladies and gentlemen, we are now happy to present a Discord chat server that is dedicated to DarkOrbit. If you haven't heard of it, please check out our Facebook
forums?
page, our announcement forums, or Flips will be posting the link now in the chat. That's our Discord server. That's where you can chat directly to us, well, almost throughout the workday, and I'm there occasionally, and those two guys are there almost all the time, and the other developers show there as well. There, players can share their concerns, share the problems that they have, make suggestions, and so on. It's all going online 24/7 almost, so you are all welcome. And the topic, one of the topics for this Twitch stream actually comes from that chat. So if you want your topic on Twitch, join Discord and make your suggestions.
We may want to add that Discord is a new tool that Flips found a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's available on web, on mobiles, and as an app for the PC. And it has voice communication capabilities, so you can talk amongst yourselves. And we're there mostly in the type chat because we just
also have to work.
Yeah.
work.
The occasional bit.
Work.
Yeah.
Flips, would you mind to fade in with the presentation?
Oh yeah.
So we can start with that. So everyone, we prepared a little overview of our most important topics that we have this week that have been caused by the recent big updates, the assembly and the ship customization, as we call it. And here we go. So, it's fading in again. I hate that.
But you made this. You made this.
Yes, I know. I should be spending more time on all the nifty things instead of just putting in the text and the information.
Maybe.
So 2 weeks ago we launched the assembly, which allows us to introduce new recipes, new resources and everything, so you can craft a lot of things that otherwise would just be available through the shop or special events or stuff. 2 weeks later, last week, we launched ship customization, which is a huge update for us because it allows us to introduce new skins, new ships and everything, which also takes us further away from the stuff that you have to buy and that you then just can...
Yeah, it presents us with opportunities to easier introduce new ships with new cool skills and abilities. And on the other hand, it lets us introduce cosmetic updates or changes of your appearance that would not affect the performance or like any gameplay performance. I mean, that it would not give bonuses and so on. So that's very important for us, and that was one of the hottest topics on Discord, and people have been bombarding me with suggestions and concerns about that update. And as I said, we're looking into a lot of stuff, and maybe like next week we will update you on where we're going with that feature and how are we going to develop it. But so far, we have to say, yeah, the updates were hectic. We are touching on the very old parts of our systems, and they're all very interconnected. So the amount of issues that show up are above average, I would say, and obviously the attention of the team is now devoted to, well, clearing this up and fixing everything and like bringing back the stability that everybody likes, right?
Yep.
So,
well, most of the things that are happening through this was that, or are database issues mostly, because we had to touch each and every item. We had to add special information for the assembly system. When it comes to ships, we had to change the way the ships are listed in our database, how the items are presented in the database, etc., etc., etc. And translating that from the old pre-ship customization database to the new one, well, it didn't work always that well, because that was one of the first and hottest issues on Friday to Sunday, so that on Monday we had to quickly develop a fix, and that was lost items. Easiest way to explain it is that all the items that were on a ship in the old system, they were still in the database. We just somehow technically forgot to translate all the data into the new database. So that was done on Monday. The Aegis repair skill, that was one of the biggest things that was not, that was even on Friday, I guess.
yeah, it was. I think it was fixed even earlier.
Yeah.
We basically are committed to fixing that one because we had a weekend to go, and we thought that the functionality of the ships at least should be stable as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing that we addressed are the weekly auctions. Similarly to all the database changes, all these auctions were running before the database was converted, so they weren't booked correctly. So the feature that does that, the script is ready. We haven't run it yet on the live service because we need to test it. So the date Wednesday isn't quite as correct. It's it was meant to be today, but it has to be done tomorrow. But
well, it will be soon.
It will
Yeah.
be, and
It's coming.
as we said, nothing is lost. We have all the data in our systems. We just need to run the script, and then everything should be corrected. Everyone who won an auction will get their items, and everyone who didn't win an auction will get their credits back. Definitely.
Yes.
Promised. So, next up, the open issues. This is a bit longer. We currently have reports that people who have been in the Kuiper Gate and were killed there can't log in. We have a couple of web certain players that report that certain pages are not loading. For all these issues, these are the most pressing topics that we're working on this week, definitely.
Yeah, and on this note, I would love to say, keep calm, carry on. We have this on the radar. I want people who are tuning in now just to check if you see that we forgot something or whatever. Just let us know. Maybe there is something that slipped through. And also, I wanted to say thanks to English language and Russian language chats in Discord who helped us, or me personally, to get through to some of these issues. Those are two languages that I speak the best. And also hi to everyone else on Discord. If you haven't joined that, join. It's a lot of fun.
The good thing about this new system is that if we have issues like this, we can quickly ask for more information, like user IDs, etc., etc. This does not replace our usual support, but it adds on top of it. So if you have specific account-related questions, like stuff not working correctly for you, please keep going through the support.
Yeah,
but
support is the right way to go. But in the case of emergency like this one, it was very, very cool that we could have direct feedback and kind of like receive the exact reproduction steps directly. Carry on.
Yes. So the next hangar, drone EP, is shown as 0. That too is, if I understood correctly, a database thing that we are just looking at the wrong database column.
Yeah, we basically have a table, and that table has we basically have to modify some things in the database in order to work correctly. But again, everything is there, and everything should be working correctly after we release the fix.
Yeah.
So that's known. Yeah.
And we still have log files.
Yes.
That we can analyze if everything breaks. So, ship customization. Some of you have reported that Aegis, Citadel, and Spearhead basic ships are not booked because you had these ships equipped with elite and veteran designs. This is one of the things that's also on our list. Of course, not quite as important as the login. But this is something that we are looking at in the next couple of days, weeks. What else? CBS modules. Yeah, that was reported 2 weeks ago. But with ship customization needing to go out for the...
Well, there is a list of things that we unfortunately dragged because we didn't anticipate that the launch of ship customization would be so bumpy. But that issue, particular one, is also raised very often, and we have it in this list, and it's on the list of fixes that are coming out.
And definitely on the top priority list that we are working on now.
Yeah, sure.
Next up, pets. There's a package of pet problems.
Yes. Well, it sums up to some people just saying that pets don't work. There is a list of problems and specific things that we are fixing, and those are on your screen. And if you see that there is something particularly specific missing, just let us know, because we hope that we have everything already lined up. And
there's a lot of communication going on that side. Couple of reports in our bug tracking systems. Apis drones, that was kind of surprise for me that people are able to get more than 10 drones. Well,
for me as well, but that's how bugs work, right? Something that is not expected or shouldn't happen just happens, and
this is one of the things. So that's on the list. Game entry, that only concerns precious few people. So everyone who's joining the game with a new account. A couple of things that we need to look at there.
Well, in general, as I said, the protection in PvP mode is something that we want to look at a bit later in more systemic way. In this case, we just want to fix this particular problem which occurs so that there is no possibility of, like, I don't know, behavior that upsets other people and so on, or behavior that prevents people from entering the game.
Okay. Logbook entries missing. I haven't really seen many reports about that, but as this may mean that some rewards might actually not be booked, this is something we are looking into.
Yes. For now, the logbook entries is, as you see, it's a bit lower because we feel like the actual working stuff is a bit more important, but that's definitely on the list of fixes that are incoming as well.
Well, at least it's something that we are investigating.
Yes.
To see if it's just the entry, which is a low priority, or if it's actually loot.
If we find out that there are just rewards that are missing, that obviously will fix it a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. So, next. Oh, no.
Hey.
So, yeah, no. We're not showing that now.
No, we already showed very well.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
You're right, it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the presentation. Thank you, Philip.
Sure. Should we go back to your beautiful faces?
Why
Who,
not?
who are you talking to?
I don't know.
All right.
As
So yeah, that is quite a bumpy ride for us at the moment, but we're trying to get all the updates out as soon as we can. We prepared a posting out of this that should be on the forums in a couple of hours. Thank you for everyone out there who's helping us translating that.
and to all of the people who have got some issues but are patiently or passionately waiting for us to fix it. We really appreciate that you are with us and that you keep pushing us to fix everything. We really do our best, and rest assured that we will not leave stuff neglected. And I mean, there is no pleasure for us to be in the situation where we have a lot of bugs in the game that we have to fix immediately, and so on and so on. And we do our best, and we do all we can to fix it as fast as possible and be as transparent as possible with all these new tools that we have adopted now. And I mean, I think it's awesome because now we are this close to being actually broadcasting the how we actually fix the bugs, because
the development,
we're here live talking about this stuff, and the next step is just like showing here is the developer, he is fixing your bug.
We could do that, like little clips with our phone cameras, and then like, this is Ivan, he's fixing this bug. This is Robert fixing that bug. This is Sebastian.
Yeah,
that would be nice. What else have we here? Base modules. Yeah, that's a problem. The CBS modules that have been lost, I think we can track.
We will we will try to figure out how to. I can't I can tell you guys now exactly, because as I said before, I believe I'm not a developer. I don't know precisely the structure of the database, but I believe that everything that is lost will be somehow recovered. Yes. And we find a way to do that, and we'll let you know how exactly that is going to happen.
So you're coming up with some ideas that kind of make it a bit sweeter, like a little band-aid, little kiss on the cheek for all the people who have gone through all the pain.
I mean, as I said on Discord, and I believe as we said on the last Twitch session, for now I would like everybody to concentrate, and by everybody I mean us, to concentrate on fixing everything, because compensation or reimbursement or I don't know, additional fancy nice things are also some work for developers, and I would love everybody to focus on fixing everything so that we can all enjoy DarkOrbit as we know it. And then we'll figure out how and what we can do to, well, make amends and say, sorry, yeah, we have had troubles. It's all gone now. Here is a token of appreciation because you waited so long for us to fix everything. So obviously that's coming, yes.
Okay, I would like to address a couple of the questions from the outside.
So many questions.
Oh, yeah. There was a question about Gamescom. I haven't heard anything.
The team's not going, but individuals from the team are going. So if you're at Gamescom, you might run into one or the other of us. I'm definitely there. I don't know who else is coming.
I mean...
No. We have to talk about this, Philip.
Because if not, I'm taking vacation.
Yeah, talking about vacation.
So, yeah, the Gamescom topic is an interesting one. As Philip said, I don't know of any plans to us to be officially present. However, some of us might be there either as like big point employees just going on a trade day, or individuals taking vacation or going there on the weekend just as regular visitors. And if anybody is interested in that information, I guess if we will be able to share it, we will. But for now, there are no plans to have a DarkOrbit presence
officially
as like officially present on Gamescom. I'm not aware of anything like that.
I haven't heard anything, but if something changes, we'll let you know.
Well, I mean, if we are going there, we will announce it in big letters, even bigger than these ones.
Our marketing department won't let us go quietly if we actually go there, because that stuff's way too expensive to not make a big deal out of it.
That's right. Now I think here are a couple of questions concerning the in-game features. There's one. The transition from a Goliath Surgeon to a Spectrum. Now you need to reinstall everything. The item
we know that.
Transition system.
And as I said, we are looking into two things. First thing, we want to make an item transition as fast and easy as switching a design. There is a very simple logical change, I hope, that will help and basically like make that happen. And the other thing that I heard from many people, the concerns that Surgeon is not compatible with any other Goliath-like ship. And that's something we will also look into. Like, first, we basically say, of course, Surgeon is a special ship, and it has special capabilities, and many players like it, and many players regard it as one of the best, or even the best ship in game. However, we do recognize that it was easier to switch between that one and the other Goliath type ship, and as we hear a lot of concerns, we'll be definitely looking into making it easier as well. So like, that's how this thing works, guys. You say you are not happy about something, and we try to find a way to solve that problem.
That's called development iterations.
Yeah, that's called iterations, and it's called feedback loop. You tell us you are not happy, and we try to make you happy. And it continues until you are happy.
Within certain boundaries and regulations.
Yeah, there's like the thing is that, as I said, there are in many cases we see that there are problems, and some clever players come up with solutions, and they come to us with solutions already. Like they say, here is what we want you to implement, or here is what you need to do. In fact, that's not what they mean. In many cases they mean, oh, we want to solve this problem, and here is how we think you should solve it. And in many cases we inside the team can see that the solution that is presented, while it is awesome, it might be too hard to do or not compatible with our structures or code or whatever. But we might find another solution which should be as good and will solve the problem, but will not be exactly what the player said. So we will always be finding a middle ground between what you explicitly say you want and between what we can do precisely. So that's always like back and forth. But
Here's a perfect example. As soon as you can save the configuration, problem should be solved.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, and the other thing that I wanted to say about the saving configuration thing, and as I said before, we are going step by step. And we'll try the thing that I'm talking about first, so like easy switch, that will be really a lot easier, and we'll try to incorporate the concerns about surgeon and such as well. And if that will solve the problem, awesome. If not, we will look further and we will look into more complex ideas, such as like saving configuration or other ways of transfer or whatever. Like, we know the problem, guys, and we're trying to solve it. We are doing it step by step, and we are hearing what you say. And if a next step solves the problem, we would better devote our attention to something else. That's just my philosophy. Like, if we can solve the problem, if we solve it, we can switch to something else. We will not go further and further and further, because iterations of like, you can make things better forever. The question is, when do we stop and switch to things that are more important or worse or more pressing in this moment? So in this case as well, we will be trying out and rolling out things that are more like less trivial and more complex, because if we can fix a problem with a trivial fix, it's easy for us and it's good for everyone. It's fast and easy. So that's why we are doing it in these steps. Like
that's the famous low-hanging fruits.
Well, yeah. We're trying to do okay. There is this easy fix. We think it solved the problem. Yes, it's solved. Awesome. We move on. If not, well, there is this more complex fix that some players suggest. Well, let's try that. It solved the problem. Yes, cool. Move on.
Yeah.
If not, keep looking. That's how we basically approach most of the things.
Yeah. That sounds good. Because the next question on what we try to achieve is downloadable client. Have you heard anything about that? Any update? I know I've seen a very first rough prototype with which allowed you to access the website and the game, which was working okay, but which had the drawback that you only had either the website or the client, and you couldn't switch between both.
Yeah. So the downloadable client is the topic that comes up every now and then. And we had done some research on that end. I would say like there are several possibilities that we could consider how exactly it can be done, what engine can we use, and like what wrapper can we use. And I must say this.
A wrapper? Like
well, yeah, like if we take the
existing game
yeah, and basically
just put some software around it.
Make it run in some separate software. But the thing is that I don't think I have any significant updates on that front. So I would say we could raise this question in one of the next sessions when we have more info. Yes, we had done research and we had done some prototyping on that front. I can't say whether
isn't Dennis on some kind of a external course or conference this week concerning something around that?
There are people now studying different technology, and there is some of members of the team currently are on some conferences to study new technology. And obviously we want downloadable client is a feasible idea that can also help us solve many of problems that people are so unhappy about throughout the years. But also I must say that I can't share any specific dates or like here is what we are doing. We are now experimenting, and if those experiments lead us to believe that we can actually do something that will be stable, nice to play, feasible to download, work on the majority of the machines and so on, So basically now we are in the experimenting phase. Like it's more like a state where like downloadable client. What could we do? That's where we are now. So it's not like, oh, here is the plan, or this is what we're going to do, or this is the deadline by which we should do it. It's more like, if we could do it, how would we do it? That's more the state where we are now.
And it's more in line with current technology. I mean, there are a couple of security concerns on the side of the browser developers. So they want to get out all the plugins so that people using their browsers are on the safe side. And that doesn't force us, but that makes us want to move away from this browser into a more...
It's all in all, it's a more controlled environment. We control it. We know what's happening inside. We can track all the things that are happening inside a lot better, because currently the wrapper, as I said, around our game is a browser, and browser is external software. We have no control over it. Yes. It makes it harder for us to track everything that happens and track potential exploits and such like.
Looking at the questions, there are a couple of questions concerning the surgeon balancing, but at the same time we should look at the main topic that you raised, the old school service, because there are some questions on that and some questions on surgeon balancing. But
I can quickly say about surgeon balancing. Like, we aim to start introducing more different ships, of more different kinds of ships with new abilities and things like that. We aim to do that in the future. We are working now on a set of, I would say, on a setup or on tools that would allow us to do that. That means that we will look at the balancing of the current ships. We know that the surgeon is considered to be one of the best ships, and some people say that it's overpowered and so on. And I can understand where it's coming from. The thing is, though, that I need to say that once we have started making more ships, we will be having situations where we have to touch some balancing on some ship every now and then. And we need to make sure that while we satisfy the people who think that this ship is overpowered and they don't have it, we need to also understand that some people have invested significant effort in getting it. If we establish an agreement between us guys that we have we are putting in more ships and we're looking at the balancing, and if there are any concerns we address it, we are basically in agreement that sometimes we have a new ship and it's awesome, and many people say it's overpowered, and we look into it and it's really overpowered and we nerf it down a bit. And then there is a ship that is not as powerful and nobody likes it, and we kind of like bump it up a bit and give it a bit more stats. If that's how we will work in the future and everybody will be okay with that, all the best for us. Because
the thing is, if you play, I've been starting playing MMOs in way 2002, and every time something new was introduced, some new content was released, there always was balancing. There always were balancing.
It's
changes.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not very common for us. Like, we haven't done that. Like, we haven't actually done major balancing or any balancing changes in, like, as far as I remember. So the question is just like, if we are all developers and players, we are in agreement that okay, the balancing stuff, the balancing issues can be addressed, and I just want to stress that if we will be balancing, if we will be changing the balance of certain things, that will be a common practice, and that would happen every now and then. And that means that if you have a ship that has been kind of like, that is a bit less powerful now as a result of the balancing, that's just how it will be. And that's basically something that everybody will sign up for.
I'm already looking forward to the discussion on forums and social media, where people then go, my ship has been nerfed, and someone else, some wine for your bread, bread for your wine. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's going to be that way, and I think if we accept that changes are necessary because we want to keep this game lively, alive, feeling like it. Not only feeling, but it's being still developed, and it's still.
Well, it's a live game.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
very
a live
definition
game.
of live game. There is something that happens all the time, and as I said, we will be looking into concerns, specific balancing concerns with regards to Surgeon. But as I said, is we will be introducing more ships. There will be more concerns raised about our future ships or even our existing ships in comparison. So I think we will just have to work together and accept that some balancing changes are necessary to specific ships to make the game better balanced overall and to make the game fairer. And if we all accept and all agree that that's necessary, why not? I mean, I'm up for that.
Talking fairer, I'm just got my second nudge that we should be talking about NPC drops, more Uridium. Are there plans to add more Uridium to NPC drops?
Well, it's hard to say, to be honest. Like on the one hand, the game, as many players perceive that the game has become a lot more expensive in last several years because there were systems added which required more Uridium and so on and so on. On the other hand, I must say that in the last several years, while we are here, we have made a lot of steps to make it more accessible. Like we have more different types of special sales, we have more different types of ways like discounts and so on and so on.
The assembly system will allow people to
there
collect
is
stuff
this assembly system we have
playing.
now. We basically make the ultra full elite equipment more and more accessible, and in these circumstances, looking into NPC drops to drop more Uridium is kind of like, well, it goes in the direction of what we are doing, but in a sense it's it basically like adds up to everything, and then we have to see if there is a balance between these things. I understand why some people would see like the higher drops from NPCs, but I will also say that I think that we need just to make sure that the rewards are adequate, and I think that the higher level players are really missing the NPCs that would be more like harder to kill but more rewarding maybe, so that
that's something on the plate as well.
Yes,
I've seen a couple of your requests flowing through my inbox today for more and different tools that we can more quickly create such content.
Yes. So for us, like the question is that about the NPCs that are currently in game, you think that they drop not enough Uridium? Our stats show that it's a very like generous system. We need to make sure, as I said, there is a discrepancy between how much Uridium high level players can get and low level players can get, and we also had a few discussions on how to make low level players kind of like progress a bit faster and become a bit stronger, so they have better chance against high level players, and they also have better chance of getting more stuff so that they can compete with high level players or join in the team with high level players and, I don't know, do a Hades gate or go hunting together or go find some cubicons together and so on. So these are two aspects of different aspects of the same problem. On the one hand, we need low level players to kind of like progress faster and progress through levels and through power faster. On the other hand, we want high level players to have an ability to switch to new NPCs so that they can have more opportunity to cover the higher cost of high-end game. which is definitely there.
I've seen that wonderful graph that Dennis showed a couple of days ago with the level progression. That was quite interesting. I think we are going into the right direction because we are now looking at much more hard data, which we are now able to not only gather but also analyze. Then you have 2 new people on the team.
Yes.
And they're looking at all the hard data, running that through lists and graphs, and they're doing a lot of number magic.
Yes, and basically that's what I wanted to say. We know how much iridium is coming from which source, and at this point, my thing is that I feel that overall there is a lot of iridium coming in the system from different various sources. However, I can understand some people who are saying, well, the NPCs do not drop enough, and I can guess it's just because they're hunting all the same NPCs throughout many levels, and while they have no progress or no sense of, okay, now I can hunt harder NPCs that will give me more stuff, there is a lack of such high level content, and that's what we are going to address soon.
I need to answer one of the questions here. Just making a hard break. The hardest gate level stage 2 and wave stage 2 and 3 NPCs that were bugged a couple of weeks ago. It has taken a back seat with the current issues after the launches, but it's not forgotten. I have it on my list, definitely. It's way up there because I want everyone to get the proper rewards.
The cool part of it, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are essentially like in a collaboration, but we have slightly different interests. My main interest is the game functions, the gameplay is fun, and so on. And 2 guys here are community managers, and they are mostly talking to you and listening. So if there is an issue like Hades Gate stuff, you can be sure that even if it slips from somebody else's radar, these guys will not lose it. And they will make us. But yeah, I know about. We are
constantly reminded, Sergey.
Well, yeah. I also know about this issue, and as Jörg said, this is something that is in the list of like, let's make it stable first, and then we'll go. Like, unfortunately, throughout these weeks, there is a bunch of different issues that happen to different groups of players. Like there are clan battle station modules missing, pet protocols not working correctly, and all the stuff that we listed in the beginning of this Twitch session. On top of that, there are some issues that are coming from previous times, like this is the Hades Gate thing and so on. This is all on the radar, and we are all personally aware of that happened and that needs to be addressed.
And the thing is that we have this bug tracking system that we talked about, and it's one of the issues there. And every week we sit together with QA, with the developers, Sergey and either Flips or me, and then we just go through the list of the open things, and then we just agree on what to look for this week. And if something like the open issues have a higher priority, then of course we need to get the game stable, make it playable for everyone again, and then we look at the data and analyze what we have to reimburse, refund, give back, and everything, as I said. Now, we now talked 45 minutes about not the main topic.
No, it's not that it's the main topic. It's the topic. The topic.
The topic. So old school service.
Yes.
What do you? Where did you? Tell me more about it.
Yeah. So that is one of the things that keeps coming up in various discussions and in various. In the Twitch stream chat, in the Discord server that we open, on the forums, in the game, wherever we go, there is a group of players who are saying bring back the old times. And the main idea is that, if we only had the version of the game from year and insert a year, that would fix everything, or that would be perfect and awesome. And in general, we kind of like summed it up as an old school server conversation. We had a few people approach us on Discord chat, specifically in English channel, and unfortunately I don't remember the names of the guys, but if you're watching, it's about you. So and they basically had put forward a very interesting case about having an old school server that would make the game like that server would be specific special version of the game. So in a sense, it will be a different game, and that would be a version that would not contain specific updates or features, or would contain it in a different manner, in a different modified fashion that would not be as pay to win and so on. And that, as I understand, one of the things that were suggested and were heavily discussed is that instance or instances, that version, will be a membership model. Will have a membership model, so it basically will be a subscription-based game. So you pay a subscription fee of some money, and you get access to everything. And there are no paywalls, no pay barriers, no nothing. Like, we don't sell anything else there, and so on. These are the things that I'm working with. That these are the things that I heard about this idea, and also there is a nice case from some other games on the market that did the similar thing, and it was considered a success, even though the examples are not like there are not many examples. Now, if we talk about this again, there is a very valid concern that I would like to raise, and that concern is like, what problem are we trying to fix? And obviously, it's not about the current version, in a sense that it's not about, I guess, it's not about that there are new website background, and it's not about that there is a new HQ 3D graphics or whatever.
So it's not about the looks.
I guess it's not. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and that's why we're raising this on the Twitch. We want to reach more people and say, here is what we think you mean. If you don't mean that, let's talk about this more. So I think that we are talking about not bringing back the old version in the sense, let's bring back old resolution, old UI, crappy website, and so on.
Like a proper software rollback to
so not just basically roll back everything. We are talking about, let's create a version of the game that would be a lot more accessible and fairer, that would not contain certain controversial features or updates that were introduced throughout these years, which are considered to be just, I don't know, breaking the game or being overpowered and being solely like you have to buy your way through that to get the full power, and so on and so on, or it's super expensive. The skill tree was named as one of the things that's super expensive. Then there are other systems like that. So as I understand, we are talking about an instance or instances with a special version of the game where you have a subscription fee, and the way that the systems function is different. The price tags are different.
That sounds very much like we would need a couple more resources in terms of manpower to actually.
Well, I actually think
the game.
I actually think that it's so in terms of what do we need to do that. So why I'm talking about this in this manner. So I'm just saying, like, this is what I think we need to have. And obviously this means that is basically a separate project, or it has to have a team of people, and these people would be dedicated to this specific server or version of the game. This will be almost two different games, and
Sounds
they might
much like it.
Yeah, they might even develop features which will not be like compatible, or there will be one feature developed for this, like, I don't know, DarkOrbit Reborn or however you would call it, and you will have another set of features developed for DarkOrbit Reloaded. That being said, it means that it's not just saying, oh, let's roll back everything to August 2009, put on some hardware, switch on the server, and everything will be fine. Well, first off, it's 2016, and rolling back like 7 years ago is super problematic for us, and it's just I think you cannot. There is a 7 years worth of different data systems, one built and the other built in, and the other built in, and the other built in. So cleaning all that up and just rolling it back will not solve the problem. Probably, I'm not sure we are able to have a stable version just by rolling it back. So this means we will have to take the current version, modify it, clean it up, and put it on a specific in specific live environment.
Now you have if we would actually do that, I mean, we are looking at server population issues. We are looking at keeping the game up to date with a client, maybe. Then now we're talking about old school servers. I mean, there are so many requests coming in at the moment that would mean that we have to dedicate resources to the downloadable project, to the server consolidation, to old school servers. So I'm just a bit scared that all these things may just sidetrack us to different directions,
I should say,
and that people now actually now that we're talking about this, that people may actually think that we are doing this right now, and that this is on our list. So I just want to say that we are talking about this. We want to hear feedback from your side, what you would like to see in such a, let's say, dream for the moment, like paint us your dream castle, DarkOrbit, and we then can look what we take from
I need
that.
to say, this is a discussion, and it doesn't mean that we're making any promises. I have to be very clear on this. We're not making any promises. However, we are listening to your ideas, and we are listening, and we are interested to hear more about this topic. I'm just saying, here is what we are facing, and these kind of like production costs will have to, like, we will have to see. We cannot. I don't think that you agree that we sacrifice some resources on our project to start looking into this specific thing at this moment. That means that we have to figure out if we are really convinced that it is worth it to look into this. We will have to figure out who and how and when we'll be doing this.
So the task of our players and viewers is come up with a cool idea, flesh it out, and convince us.
Well, in a sense, yes, but you have also taken into consideration that I'm really like, I understand you guys have a lot of concerns and ideas, and you like the game. That's why you are so passionate. However, when you are saying something like, well, why don't you just roll back the version and have the 2009 version and just roll it back to the instances? We can't. That's like a simple question. We can't just, like, you can't just go into Mordor and so on. Like, you can't just roll back the version 7 years ago, pretend that it's stable, and just let people play. That's just not how it works.
Actually, every change that we have, that we want to consider for the future, needs to go through your mind, our minds, developer minds.
And also
project management.
Management and business considerations as well. Is it worth it to spend an effort on this one? So for us, it's really like a question of like you're like, why don't you just, I don't know, build a crystal bridge between whatever? Like I know that it sounds easy, and It's shiny, but
yeah,
it's
why don't you just
fix all the
allow
bugs?
us to save our configuration?
Well, yeah.
Why don't you just
Whenever there is this thing, like we really like, we would love to do everything like this. Especially I would love to do, because I am a designer, and that's our job. My colleagues and I, we come up with a lot of ideas, and we would like to see them right now. And then we are faced with the reality of how long does development take, and what are the implications, and what other systems will be touched, and so on and so on. So going back to the old school server, let's say that we have that, and we have a certain membership. So that basically means that there is a separate project, and there has to be enough players who are interested in that to support that project and to support the team behind that project, so that this project will have to be like, it will start developing on its own. It will be like growing and so on. And that's basically a task of not a small manner. It's not like a trivial thing. It's a project that could take up a long time, even if we say we wanted, but we didn't. And as I said, we are having a discussion. So what I would think we would like to encourage you to do now, if there are people who are interested in this stuff, we will be happy to engage in more conversations. We'll be happy to engage, to hear out your ideas on what would you think the feature set would look like. What would you think the monthly subscription fee should be? How many players would you like to see on that instance? What would you not like to see there? Like, what do you would us want to exclude absolutely?
paint a picture of the dream castle?
Well, yeah.
And then
Send us pictures of the dream castle, and we win a trip to dream
Hamburg.
castle. Oh, we'll see. So yeah, so basically the question is, we want to engage in this conversation. We want to talk about this more. We want to hear out your ideas, but we want you to understand that I hope I painted a nice picture of why don't you just think doesn't work in this case. So that means that while we are happy to engage in conversations, we cannot promise anything right now. That's just the underline.
So we keep talking about new ideas, taking on board all the suggestions, then look at the feasibility. So if we can do that with whatever effort it takes us, and then we can still decide, are we going to do it or not?
Sure. Yeah, that's the thing. Like there are a lot of implications of this thing, and we have a lot of plans for the game, and we shared a lot of plans for the game itself. So this one is not a trivial thing. It's interesting to discuss, and it's interesting to engage in conversation, but we need to be realistic here, guys. This is something that will require a lot of considerations on various different levels, and that's what very important to understand.
Yeah, and that is that's what we have to keep in mind for all big developments. And that I think, I don't know, I'm looking at the feedback and the questions, but time is running out.
Yep.
I just got the like 2 minutes sign from over there.
Yeah.
Well,
It looks like we're not gonna cover everything with just 2 streams a month. Maybe we want to think about alternatives then.
Wow, we could.
if you insist, you can please come here and sit on the couch as well.
That won't help.
No. Oh, that's why not?
Well, because we still have one microphone to talk into, and we can't all talk parallelly. That would be cool, but
No one would understand what we're saying.
exactly.
That's true. So maybe we should actually think about.
do it more often.
No.
No?
Shh, don't say the word.
No. The thing is just.
Triggered.
The thing is just that we still have our day-to-day work, and
Yes.
as much as I like to sit here and spend time in front of a camera, sadly, most of the of our usual team members aren't.
Yeah. So
And even though I would just say like, Sergey, you sit there and have one other person from the team sitting here. They don't want to.
well, it's not this that they don't want to, but there's also, as I said, there's a daily work, and all of us have to do a lot of stuff. So we try our best and we do what we can, and we see what happens.
And the fact that we're sitting here just means that up there are still
Yeah, somebody else is doing our work up there, so it's
our work and still working on the game and developing and painting all the nice pictures and designing the new ships and fixing the bugs and making sure that the website is working, etc., etc. So there is a whole team up there.
But I guess we can guarantee one thing: we'll see you in 2 weeks,
Unless
something happens. Yeah, just
All right.
Just to be realistic, if we get attacked by evil wizards, then there's nothing we can do.
Evil wizards in space?
That seems like the coolest concept for a new game.
it's a good time to turn the camera on.
Yes,
and
I think
we'll
so.
have a chat about this.
I want
wizards now.
sharks with lasers on their heads.
Sharks with laser beams, yeah, cool idea. Okay, well then that's it for this week. Thank you everybody for joining. We had a great time in chat again. Thanks for the moderators to, because they're keeping everything civil. I'm gonna post the Discord link again, so if you guys want to keep in touch and keep chatting after this session, then go to Discord.
Maybe you want to put it in the...
And the thingy below,
Yeah.
we need a graphic for it, but I'll put it into the description box.
Oh wow! Okay.
Soon.
He's a professional.
Yeah,
Yes.
we need a graphic.
We
for
don't do
this.
things half-assed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So thank you for joining. See you all in
Thanks
2
for
weeks.
listening.
And we're out. Goodbye.
Ciao.